Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to make a CSGO weapon finish, and for this you're going to need to download both the CSGO workbench materials. I'm going to save this, and you're going to need VTFEdit. I've already installed this, but I suggest getting the I suggest getting the archive because you can just unzip it and start running it instead of having to install it. So after this, you're going to want to find your materials folder. So mine is going to be in my downloads, and what is it? Workbench materials. Oh, wait, the zip is actually over. This is my zip because I downloaded it twice. But when you unzip it, it'll turn into workbench materials, and this has the models over here, the untextured models, and this is what gets mapped onto the gun. So you want to start off by going to Photoshop, and you want to open up the you want to go to the folder and you want to open up the OBJs, and for this I'm going to be texturing a Glock 18. So I'm going to open the Glock 18.obj, and here you can see that Photoshop's rendering the model over here, and you can rotate it and everything. So what I want to do first is I want to load up the texture, the actual like mesh onto the gun, so that it looks like so that it shows everything that's on the gun. So I want to go to, you want to select this right here. You want to go to 3D materials, and you want to select the default 3D diffuse texture, and I'm going to remove the I'm going to go to the first one right here where it says diffuse, and I'm going to remove the texture, and then I'm going to load a texture, and I'm going to go back to the workbench materials. I'm going to go to UV sheets, and then I'm going to go to the Glock 18.targa, and then here you can see it's showing all this, and this is where everything is mapped out. This is, so the UV sheet is just displaying where each part is, and it'll show it on the gun here because I loaded it up. So the next thing you want to do is you want to open this up in a new window thing. So if we open this texture here, we can see it over here, and we can see if we go to layers, this is the background, so this right here is being displayed here. So if we make a new layer here, you'll be able to edit it, and you can tell though this is where the gun grip is, but you can actually just like put stuff here. It'll show you on the gun where this is gonna be. So right there it popped on, so that's where those two things are. And yeah, so this is how the modeling works. Okay, so I'm going to put it into time-lapse now because this part's going to take a while. Okay, so now we have our finished gun skin, and now what we need to do is start preparing it for VTFEdit, which will change it into a VTF so that we can use it for CSGO. So the first thing we want to do is go to save it, and then I made a folder called Glock Skin, so I can save my stuff in here. I'm going to save it as glockskin.tga. Okay. And so then what you need to do is open up VTFEdit, which is the program that we downloaded earlier, and then I'm going to import, not open. It's important that you do import so that you can actually find the file. It's not going to let you open a TGA. So then these settings are fine, and I'm gonna wait for it to load. And then what I need to do over here, I'll make this bigger, is no level of detail, no map, and sRGB. And then what I want to do is save this as glockskin.vtf, which I already did earlier. And all done here. And so now we should be able to just load it up into the game since we made a Valve text. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is you'll need to make a TXT that loads up the file, and it needs to load a custom paint job. So you can get that from this website. You just copy all this, paste this into a text document, except the one that says pattern. In here in the quotes you need to write the pathway to the directory, and this is where mine is. C drive, it's the users, my user account, my desktop, my folder, and then my VTF. So then what you need to do is save this. It can be anywhere really. And then you want to load it up into CSGO. So here's my VTF and my TXT. So I'm going to start up. Okay, so I'm starting up CSGO, and I'll need to make sure I have a button bound to the developer console, and mine is the home key. This can be anything. So then I'll type in workshop_workbench, which will open up this window. You can do all sorts of things in it. But what I need to do is you need to set custom paint job, and then when it says load, you need to pick the txt file that we made earlier. So I'll go to my C drive, into my users, into my here desktop, and then what's it called, Glock Skin, and then .txt, and that definitely should not be on the M4. So let's find the Glock 18 right here. So if we bring it all the way up to factory new, this is what it looks like, and that is how you load it up into the workbench here. And if you want to submit it, you can hit submit. It'll open up your SDK and it'll let you type in all sorts of stuff for submitting it to the workshop. So anyway, thanks for watching, and this is how to make a CSGO skin.